This channel is designed for adults viewing only, and certain videos will contain rated M for mature video games, featuring realistic violence, gore and suggestive themes. If you are not an adult, do not view the content on this channel.
Sit back and relax. It's time to take a wild trip to the past. Get ready for another exciting episode of Memory Lane.
Alright, here we are looking at a Nintendo magazine, Nintendo Power, from February of 1998, over 20 years ago. And, the main front cover is Hulk Hogan holding a N64 controller, and we have Sting down here. Now, I can't show the address. I'm not going to bother doing that. But there you go. We're going to turn the page and we're going to see what's inside here. We have a few different things that are advertised. Gaming Gold, Nagano Winter Olympics 98. Okay, so let's go inside. That is a pretty cool looking cover for wrestling fans. Alright, let's take a look at what we have in here. And much like last month's Nintendo Power magazine, we have the same exact insert little advertisement for subscribing to Nintendo Power. And there we go. We get the little card right there. You give that to your friend, and they'll be able to actually subscribe to Nintendo Power. And what you're hearing right there is my light. And there we go. We got some WCW craziness going on here. WCW versus Nwo World Tour. And we got the tables of content. Let's see if we can zoom in there and see what we have. Got some screenshots, all kinds of. We got the Lex Luger, the Giant Hogan, Ultimo Dragon. And what do we have here? All kinds of crazy stuff. Look at that. We have Luger up there in the corner showing off. So pretty cool start for this magazine. This game was definitely really, really good back then. And we got some artwork. Let's take a look at some artwork here. We have a Mario comic right there. And then we have a Bowser. Oh my god. I can't believe that Nintendo actually accepted that in their magazine. Bowser is burning Sonic the Hedgehog, and they accepted that. And this was before Sega was actually making games for Nintendo. So, you know, Sega still had their consoles. That's pretty wild stuff. We got 007 right there with Donkey Kong. We got another 64 in the house. The comic right there. We got the Lynx. And I don't know what that is. It looks like Booger Man almost. Oh, it is Booger Man. Look at that. Booger Man got some fan art in Nintendo Power. Check that out. Can you believe that? And there we go, we got a good old school fan made. This is wild. This is a great example of how crazy Nintendo and Sega fanboys were back then. And they did exist, trust me. And they would poke fun out of each other. And that is a great example right there. So, you know, long before the internet existed, well, it did exist back then, but there wasn't no trolling on the internet back then. You basically had to hand draw your imagery that you want to troll somebody with. And there you go. That's the ultimate troll right there. And apparently Nintendo approved it and they liked it. So here we go. We got the top 10 games for the N64. And number 2 is WCW vs. NWO. We got GoldenEye still top of the list. And then, of course, we have the Super Nintendo. And we have a couple of WWF games right there for Super Nintendo that still made the list. That's pretty interesting. With the LJN Raw, which I didn't care for that game too much. And this is the most wanted N64 stuff right here. And you can tell that wrestling was quite popular back then because there's 3 things on that list that are wrestling oriented. Like you have World Tour, you have Nitro, you have Warzone. Yeah, what is this right here? Juan Dinosaur Hunter. Alright, let's turn the page here. And here we go, we got some crazy stuff here for WCW vs. NWO World Tour. Basically tells you how to do the moves. You have Hogan, Bischoff, Scott Hall. Pretty cool stuff. Gives you like a little strategy guide. The various different screenshots. You got the Macho Man Randy Savage up there on top. And then you have the Olympic game right here. So let's see if we can get that focus, make sure it's good. Okay, so yeah, probably a couple pages of this Olympic game. Some of these games are actually pretty fun to play. But then there's always one game. They have a series of games that you can play in these games, and there's always one that's so difficult to do that it makes the game like impossible to beat. You can see the different type of games you can do. Bobsled, was that one right there? The freestyle skiing. There's always one that's like so difficult to control that it's ridiculous. You got Olympic hockey. Then we have some Yoshi Story stuff going on here. Some big illustrations, all kinds of crazy stuff. Several pages of Yoshi Story, look at that. And these magazines have some nice illustrations on them. And here we have some classified information. And this basically gives you like various different cheat codes and tricks. And let's see what we have here. San Francisco Rush, Madden, nothing really too crazy. Extreme G, you got Clay Fighter over there. Secret Amanda, so yeah, it's pretty much almost the same stuff as like last month. Alright. Mystical Ninja. Never played that one before, I don't think. I might have actually played it. See, I actually own a lot of N64 games. Now look, they're giving you map layouts. So, as I mentioned on the previous episode, map layouts really helped quite a bit. Before the internet was mainstream, before you can get walkthroughs on the internet, this basically helped you out. This is basically how you did it. And yeah, I remember going to the library, looking at Nintendo Power magazines at my library, and that's basically how I figured the games out back then. And it's pretty cool illustrations of what the map looks like. And we have Diddy Kong Racing right here. I have a feeling that we have a Diddy Kong Racing poster or something. What is this? Oh, that came out of nowhere. I did not expect to see that. It's a Wario Land 2 poster. And that came out of nowhere. I did not expect that. I thought I was going to see something else. That is pretty cool. Yeah, Fighter's Destiny. One of those fighting games that are not really too well known. And they're basically going over... This was also pretty much similar to what you saw in last month's magazine. They went over this game with all the characters and everything, similar to what you see here. So they were definitely trying to push this game. But, you know, this game did not quite take off as well as, let's say, Tekken or Virtual Fighter. And who knows, the game might actually be good. Personally, I never really got that much of a chance to actually play this game. And I actually might have that game up here on my shelf. I have so many games that... this game, I have a ROM cart, so I can definitely play it if I wanted to. Cruising World right here. So if you enjoyed playing Cruising USA, here you go. You have a sequel. Got some nice colorful illustrations. And the graphics back then popped quite a bit. You can see all the nice colors on it. Look at that. You have an arrow gauge. It's kind of like a F-Zero type thing. And more arrow gauge, but yeah, check out that cool looking 3D rendered N64 gamepads right there. That's pretty cool. So you can actually use those controllers to fly in the game, apparently. So those are actually vehicles. That is actually pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure I have arrow gauge. Yeah, I do. I have it up there, so... maybe we should try that out sometime. Race as the N64 controller. And we have the track layouts. You can see exactly how the tracks look. And we have FIFA 98. Now, FIFA has always been a popular series. And here we go. We have some screenshots of what it looks like on the N64. And all different types of stuff right here. And then we have a 007. If 007 GoldenEye, if you hadn't had enough of that game, and you want to take it with you on the go, well, you can get 007 for Game Boy, and this is what it looks like right here. So it's like that, almost like that Metal Gear look to it. And check that out. The Game Boy games, much like the NES games on the Nintendo Power, you get like a whole map layout, like a strategy guide type thing, and it tells you what to do and where to go. This made games so much better and easier to play. And that is a huge layout right there. That's like really huge. Look at that. You can easily get lost in it. That's a lot of mappage. And there's more. It's definitely never ending. Some of these NES games and Game Boy games, they would have several pages of this, telling you where to go and what to do. Alright, we have Snowboard Kids. And then we have Duke Nukem 64 over here. Various different screenshots. Nothing really too crazy. We have GoldenEye right here, so they're still showing off GoldenEye. You got Turok on the Game Boy over here. And what do we have here? We have the Lamborghini game. It's like a bit of an advertisement. Enter to win. Okay, so what is this? Attend a legendary 24-hour Lehman's. So I guess they had like a little sweepstate where you can win. They always had sweepstakes back then, or contests. So you can enter to win this and that. So back then, seeing those in magazines were quite common. And here we have more layouts of what the this Game Boy game looks like right here. It looks like some sort of Disney game. And that is a crazy looking layout right there. And we have more layouts. So yeah, a lot of the older Nintendo Power magazines had tons and tons of what you see here. Once you got into like the late 90s, you started seeing less and less of this. The reason why is just games were pretty much more 3D back then. So you got high scores down here. And, you know, all different types of stuff. So let's go to where did we have the reviews. Okay, so it says Yoshi's Story. Got an 8.2. The Olympic game that we were looking at got a 6.5, and they... I always found that funny that they would make it such a huge thing out of that game back earlier in the magazine. Several pages, and then once you turn to the end of the magazine, they scored a 6.5. Like, oh no, this is average. The hockey game, 6.5. So nothing really that special, according to this magazine. NBA in the Zone, 6.0. That's not good. That's borderline bad. That's not good at all. This Mystical Ninja game got a 7.1. Aero Gauge got 6.5. FIFA 98 got 8.1. Alright, what else do we have here? 007 on the Game Boy, 6.2. This Disney looking duck game right here got 6.2. The Fidgets, 5.2, that's pretty bad. And that's the type of stuff you'll see in these magazines back then. You'll see in the same magazine that they're trying to advertise, push, and make that game look as good as possible earlier in the magazine. Then once you turn to the end, where the actual review is, they shit on the game, and it's pretty funny. So you'll see that a lot in these older magazines. You got Wario Land 2 over here. You got a Game Boy Pocket. That looks pretty cool. You got some sort of virtual chess game right there. That looks pretty cool. Quake 64. Let's take a closer look at these screenshots. Got some classic Quake screenshots right here. And we got this chess game. I don't know what this is. I never heard of it. Grandmasters Virtual Chess. And down here we have some sort of baseball game. And it looks like we have a Zelda screenshot right there. Alright, for whatever reason my camera cut off. I'm not sure what happened there. Now let's turn the page. And what do we got here? We have What's Up with Iguana West. Okay, so that's basically the acclaimed studio that was making the WWF game War Zone. And apparently there's a bit of an article on this. That's pretty interesting. So once again, there's tons of wrestling stuff to be seen in this magazine. That looks like Bret Hart and Owen Hart beating each other up right there. You got some random wrestling stuff down here. The Rock versus Mankind. We have The Undertaker right there. And I actually remember walking into a Funkoland, and when I saw this game for the first time in action, it blew my mind. I was like, wow, I have to have this game. This game's awesome. And they were demoing it on a Nintendo 64, and I thought it looked so real. It freaking blew my mind. They have Goldust up there. Alright, so apparently they're doing a hockey game also, but the big thing that was like the most popular and the biggest focus was the wrestling game. And this game, this Wwf War Zone game, was originally known as WWF 98. And it originally had the red, white, and blue ropes, like the old red, white, and blue ropes, but then they had to change it once the Attitude Era started kicking off. Everything changed to red ropes. And here we have a couple of sneak peeks, I guess, at various different things here. Looks like we have a Mario 64 screenshot down here. And we have some release dates over here on the side. Let's take a look at what we have here. Games that are scheduled to be released. 1080 degrees snowboarding. We got Gex, all kinds of stuff. Mortal Kombat 4. Really, really good game. Quake 64. And there we go, that Warzone game that we just saw. And coming next issue, it's going to be heavily focused on 1080 degrees snowboarding. Yoshi Story 2, Quest 64, and NBA in the Zone. And it looks like if you have a busted console, if your Game Boy, Super Nintendo, or something's not working right, it looks like we have ourselves a phone number that you can call to get repairs. Alright, let's turn the page here. And it looks like they're advertising a series of games for $39.99 on the back cover. So any of these games right here you can get for $39.99 back then. And that's pretty cool. So yeah, that is the Nintendo Power magazine right here. Let's sit up here. Let's cover that address up right here. Yeah, I think right there is good. So yeah, we have Hogan and Sting on the front cover. We got the controller right there. It was heavily focused on wrestling. Not surprising, because wrestling was like extremely popular back then. Pretty cool magazine. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment down below and let me know what you think.